Right, so this is my not so comprehensive, but I feel like it's a good idea, list of gifts for knitters for Christmas, even though you may not actually be a knitter yourself. And I think that I've managed to scour across the place and find a range of things that you can do and give to a knitter and make it look like you know what you're doing, even though you might not know what you're doing. Now, these should be in a range of different price categories. We're going to start with a couple of things that might just be stocking stuffers. Now, these you can get very inexpensively. You can pop into a yarn store, you can look for them online, but they're things that are useful to knitters that they may or may not actually have. The first one being point protectors. Fantastic idea. They run for a couple of bucks for a little set of them, and they come in cool colours. A large darning needle. This one's got a blunt tip and it's bent. You could get something very cool, like a pair of novelty scissors. These ones are unicorns. I also have the ones that are swans, but these ones I think are cooler. Something like a dinky box of stitch markers for doing socks. These are particularly cute because they're so tiny and they're just in a really cute little container. Another thing that I think is a brilliant idea, and I've received these, they're amazingly cool. These are tiny balls of Poppets yarn. They're 4-ply yarn, and they are a sock blend, so it's a wool and nylon mix, but they are around about $1.50 to $2 each, maybe even less. The thing with these is that you can get as many or as few of them as you want. I was once given a container with, it was a mason jar filled with tiny balls of Poppets yarn. There's just enough in there to do something. If you have a few of them, you can make a pair of socks. Either way, they're incredibly cute, either thrown in a stocking or thrown into a jar to be made into a larger gift. Very inexpensive and very useful to your average knitter. Then there are things that knitters may not think to buy for themselves, you see. This first one is a gift bag that comes from Unraveled. In here we've got a tape measure, we've got another small bag, and in there are tiny stitch markers, we've got some needle holder thingies, we've got some end point thingies, and then we've got these two thingies here, these I already have both of these. These two envelopes contain a gauge marker and a ruler, both with needle size detectors. These are particularly handy because once you've had your needles for a while, you tend to wear the numbers off. So having one of these, or even just a gauge square, is an incredibly good idea. Now, this bag was particularly inexpensive. It was less than $50, and it's a really nice project bag, and it came with all that stuff. So I'm quite impressed with that one. So I'm quite impressed with this one from Unraveled, which is a New Zealand company. It's a small business, and it's a really good quality product. Another gift box that I got also from Unraveled. This one here is the Kitchen Goodness box. Now, the reason I got this one is that it's quite different to a few other knitting boxes. It's got, in the box itself, I mean, clearly there's a sticker, there's some tissue paper, but this is where it starts to get cool. We've got 3 balls of cotton. We've also got a pair of needles, the pattern for making some dishcloth tea towel things, and what set this pack apart from a couple of the others, because they do have another cotton dishcloth pack, is it comes with a recipe book. So it's called the Kitchen Goodness Pack. So not only are you catering for 2 birds in one stone, somebody who likes to cook and somebody who likes to knit, it's something to do and something to carry on doing well on after the gift giving season. Also under $50, and I think it was a really good value pack for what you've got inside there. So somebody opening it up can start knitting the project or cooking the food almost straight away. Maybe not the food, who knows what's in the actual things there. So this one I am looking forward to having a look into further. Another idea that I really like, these are from Some Good Yarn. Now these are from their Sock of the Month Club, but you don't have to subscribe to the whole lot. And at the moment, they've got a lot of their Sock of the Month socks on sale. So it runs for around about $7 to get 2 balls of yarn to make 2 pairs, well, 2 socks. What's particularly cool about it is you can see the colorway on the side of the box of what they look like. But the balls of yarn are identical. So your 2 socks are going to be identical. So it makes it something a little bit nicer than buying, say, just a regular ball of sock yarn where your socks are not going to come out the same. This way, they are going to come out the same, which is a kind of neat thing that some people won't necessarily think about. Also, really cheap, already comes in a box. Love a box because I'm no good at wrapping things. Also from Some Good Yarn, here's a set of tiny, well, not tiny, short knitting needles and a short crochet hook. What's cool about this is that they're ombre, they're beautiful. They also fit in a handbag. People don't necessarily have this length of needle. So if you wanted to have a small project in your bag, like a dishcloth or a scarf or something like that, you can do it. But because it's not a length that most people have, kind of a cool gift. The other thing that's neat is that the crochet hook in the middle there has got like a knitting needle end. So anyone who's used a crochet hook for picking up missed or dropped stitches, stunningly good idea. Also really cheap. I think this was about, actually, I don't know. Not a clue what this one was at all. I was looking for the sock yarn. This was in the box. It was in the, I put it in the basket while I was there. Now, my last 2 options are both things that I think are really, really cool. And they've both been put together by a company called The Woven. This one here is a gift box of New Zealand merino wool. And in here, you've got 3 different colours, and you get a bit of a choice as to which colours you wanted. I went with these because they're colourful and beautiful. And, well, this is the colour of my bedroom. And this is the colour of the throw pillows that my husband hates. So it works in and about. So what you get is you end up with 3 free patterns, 3 balls of wool. Everything here is biodegradable. It's all in cardboard packaging, so it's going to be not harmful to the planet at all. Small company, gorgeous yarns. Once you've knitted with Michelle's yarn, all other yarn becomes comparable to this. It's smooshy, it's gorgeous, it's just stunning. The second idea that I've got here is also from The Woven. And this is a little bit cooler again, I reckon. She has knitting packs. Now, the last one I got came in a little baggie. This one came wrapped up. And what you get is all the yarn that you need for the project. And there's a choice of colours that goes along with it. And if there's something that you wanted that isn't necessarily there, send her an email. She's great. And then you've got the needles to do the project, and then we've got the darning needles to put the project together. You can see where I'm getting with this, can't you? And then we've got the actual pattern itself, and the bit that really does set her stuff aside from a lot of other people's. Here we've got everything else we need. Okay, I haven't shown you what this pattern's for yet because I'm holding off on it. It's got the buttons, it's got some string for stitching the legs on and stuff like that. It's got the little eyes, it's got the extra feature yarn pieces. And wait until you see Rainbow the Unicorn. Honestly, cannot wait to knit this. This is gorgeous, absolutely stunning. And you can get this really easily. So in there you've got, again, the sumptuous yarn, which is the most soft and most squishable yarn you're going to come across. It's so addictive to knit. It is a premium product, but when it's put together with all of the other items, again, you've got a pack that's good to go. Of course, there's a couple of other ways that you can also do gifts for knitters. You can go into a yarn shop, and if you talk to anybody there and say, look, I'm looking for a gift for my wife, sister, daughter, uncle, great Aunt Gertie, who does a lot of knitting, I don't know what to get. They're going to fill you in. But even if you said, look, I want to get a pattern and some yarn, pick a pattern, let them help you with the yarn to fill it out, because that's very possible as well. I did have a friend a few years back who found a pattern on Ravelry that she thought I would really like, downloaded and printed the pattern because it was one that you could buy online, went to a yarn shop and got somebody to help her pick the yarn that would go with it. And one of my final suggestions, and what is the most disjointed video I've ever had to fill, because who knows that somebody's going to come and try and vacuum, is to get a skein or two of hand-dyed yarn. This here I got from Dunedin, from, it was from a little art store, believe it or not, and this woman dyes her yarns inspired by New Zealand native birds. And because I went down to see yellow-eyed penguins in Shakespeare, I went with the yellow-eyed penguin yarn. What's nice about it is it comes in a nice skein, it looks beautiful. Then one can use a wool winder, or one can do it the Juanita way and just roll it into a ball so that you can then knit it up. So what am I going to do with this? I'm going to make a hat, because I wear hats a lot with my stargazing job. But anywhere you can buy yarn, or even looking online for hand-dyed yarn, you're going to find something that's unique, something that's different, something that people aren't necessarily going to have. So if you can find something that's either inspired by something that the person you're purchasing for is interested in, or something that just reminds you of a location you've been to, or even from that location itself, it's another really thoughtful and meaningful gift for a knitter. So while this is not an exhaustive list of things that you could be purchasing as gifts for knitters, they are things that would be useful, and they're things that will allow you to have a little bit more creativity in what it is that you're trying to do and how you're going to try and appreciate them, and also can be a little less overwhelming than just going into a yarn shop and being, yeah. So thank you, and I'll catch you in the next video.